Hi everybody, Rock Dude here.
And Marky Z, and welcome to our special Halloween first show at the
Rockin' House. All right.
Brian, we got a returning guest today.
Which we had on before, Paranormal and,
the Phantom Detectives LLC are here
original
today.
local Ghostbusters, you know.
That's what Brian says, yeah. They are here today for the Halloween show. We got a treat for you, and we're so excited to have them back to give us an update of some awesome stuff going on.
It's always good when we have a return visit, you know. We must be doing something right, you know, and we love these people, and we're doing something a little different. You know, you can consider this Gearheads because they're going to talk about what type of equipment that they use to actually tap into the paranormal. And, yeah, I use Ghostbusters because, you know, Ghostbusters the movie. They just don't have the backpacks today, but that's all right. We're hoping to have no trouble today.
I say we bring on our first guest, which is going to be Joshua, which wasn't here last time, and he was able to make it today. So let's welcome to the Rockin' House for the first time, Joshua Chairs, as he is also a partner of Phantom Detectives LLC. Welcome to the Rockin' House show. Oh, look at this guy.
Pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks for coming, my brother. Have a nice seat right
Thanks
here.
for coming, Joshua. Yeah, the Rockin' House.
Get yourself in there nice and easy.
Absolutely. It's pulled
Oh,
open.
lean back there. You're good to go.
That's all right.
Put your gear down, and we're happy to have you here, my brother. Watch that back
We got
thing there.
we got plenty of gear here.
Absolutely.
Well, Joshua, we got you on the show for the first time, my brother.
Well, yeah,
You
Josh.
made
You
it.
know, you can't do your job without the gear. I mean,
Absolutely. The equipment makes the paranormal investigation, and
Yes.
it is an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys today. And this was something that I was really excited that I had circled on my calendar about coming back and talking with you guys about paranormal investigating.
because
Actually,
you know
live
you were
this time.
busy the first time around, so good. I'm glad you could stop in today.
Yes, definitely.
So
And
awesome. So
this is going to be a lot of fun, and I think that I'm looking forward to any questions that come in from your end or any of your listeners in.
all right. Well, I'd like to start with what's new from your perspective. I know you got some new gear now that you just added to the paranormal investigation.
Now, if I can interject here, now before we get started with the gear, what got you involved in from day one with this investigative stuff that you do?
I think what got me involved in day one was basically when I was a kid in 1988. Basically, I saw the episode of called the General Wayne Inn in Marion Station, Pennsylvania, called the Inn of the 17
We do
Ghosts.
know that because we live here.
And basically, they were basically there. It was about an English, basically it was old English coaching in by the name Revolutionary War hero Major General Anthony Wayne was named after him.
Nice.
And George Washington, the stayed there, the Marquis de Lafayette, Edgar Allan Poe. So after seeing that episode, I had the rare opportunity with my early mentor in the field by the name of Micheline Mayer. She's since passed away, but we did a paranormal investigation at the General Wayne Inn, and in the basement area, I caught weird green and yellow streaks of light, which I have no reasonable explanation, and those match the eyewitness accounts of people seeing a Hessian soldier in the basement of the inn.
So cool, man.
So, in your early evolution, you did have some mentors who were noted, or at least knew what they were doing to help you along your way on your little early journey.
Yes.
And the Wayne Inn was one of your first experiences doing this at a more professional level.
Yes, absolutely.
And that that place is super haunted down there on the main line on Montgomery Avenue. We know where that is. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Very cool. Awesome, man. So how did you connect with these? Are you started LLC, this Phantom Detectives, or did you and Rick? How did this come about with you?
So this came about with me when I decided to officially start over after starting a new team in August 2020. So I went ahead and had business cards done. I came up with the name Phantom Detectives based on an old 1950s comic book called Phantom Detective.
Yeah.
So I decided just to add the S to it because we're detectives. We're detecting the paranormal. So I went ahead, had business cards done, had the website developed, had the basically emails made, built the social media pages, and decided to start doing investigations under the new banner. And there I actually did our first pre-investigation at a place called the Selma Mansion in basically Norristown, Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
And that's how we kind of came to be. And then later on, after the next 6-8 months, Melissa and Rick joined.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's funny you mentioned Norristown because we live near the old state hospital grounds, and they're basically the same that they were 200 years ago or 150 years ago. I think they were established during the Civil War, and most of the buildings are still there. It's pretty creepy. So
That's like, what, 10 minutes away from
yeah,
you?
they do allow traffic to go in and out there. There's a creek in the back where you can go fishing and stuff like that.
Nice.
So it's pretty much hasn't been changed since it was established. So that's state hospital grounds. But yeah, so you started this LLC and made it into a more professional situation.
Yes.
So you're registered. And if I'm on a more serious note, if I have some serious hauntings or something like that,
These are the guys.
you can save my neck, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
That's what we do. And
Are you about like getting rid of the spirits at all, or that kind of thing?
we're Ghostbusters.
I know you identify them,
Yeah.
right?
We're more like in the aspect of respecting the history of these locations. We're in the more the aspect of trying to detect the paranormal and use our equipment to be
Yeah.
able to find out what's going on in these homes and businesses all over the world. We definitely feel like getting rid of them that's more of, like you just said, our trained professionals in the field, such as Dave Giuliano, who runs the Ghost Hunter store.
I gotcha.
Bill Bean, basically down in Maryland. I mean, there's a lot of people trained in like that kind of area. So getting rid
See,
of negative spirits.
when you
Very
go
cool.
back to these like exorcists and stuff, you know, that's the clergy has a big hand
Yeah.
in.
That's
If-
all the Catholic.
If
Yeah.
it's from a heinous or a devilish kind of nature, I guess that's where the clergy may have a hand.
Yeah,
in
they
it.
would have nothing to do with any of that.
Exactly.
They don't do anything to disrespect the entities and where they are and where they reside. They just go there to investigate the activity.
Exactly. Like we're
You
kind
know?
of like Holzer Files, which is basically about a
Yeah.
show about Dr. Hans Holzer,
Okay.
who was America's first ghost hunter, and we kind of emulate a lot of what Dave Schrader, Cindy Kaza, and Shane Pittman do, but make our own version of it.
Very cool.
So we're there to basically detect the paranormal and identify it and who's haunting these places and what is their story to tell. Because these there's also intelligent hauntings, which are things that are beings that directly interact with you. There's a residual haunting, which is basically like a tape recorder, like Gettysburg, that plays itself over and over again. There's also poltergeists, which move things, called noisy ghosts.
Okay.
And then there's also,
Yeah, I know about poltergeists. I have one in my house years ago. They're playful.
Exactly, and they also, of course, the demonology, which is basically a separate course. So there's a lot going on in these homes and businesses, and we want to be able to provide our clients with the best possible investigations, top to bottom, and including the evidence review process.
Awesome.
Now, do you have what you call home base or town or area that you're out of?
Yes, well, currently our home base, like actually my home office for Fan Detectives is my home in Oxford, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But technically we used to have our operations up in Downingtown, but then we moved it from Downingtown to Oxford.
Nice.
So it made it a lot easier and accessible for everyone because Rick and Melissa live in Wilmington, Delaware. So basically, moving the operations from Downingtown to Oxford is like basically like 30 minutes closer.
Well, that's
So
great.
So it's easiest for us to get together and do team meetings and lectures.
Well, let me ask you this, Joshua. I know you bought some new ghost hunting paranormal gear, which is exciting.
Yes.
We had on the last show with Melissa and Rick, which was awesome, and they are here today as well, and showed us some cool stuff. And this is new stuff. Let's talk
Yes.
a little bit about what this does.
Absolutely. So this is called the Grayson Box. It is a modified K2 meter, and this was actually developed by a guy named Grayson Schmidt,
Very cool.
who is a well-known paranormal inventor in Union, Georgia. And this is the Grayson Box, and what this does is it's actually a really cool paranormal investigative device. It displays temperature and also displays a battery drain meter. So you can see if a spirit comes by, this number will go down
Wow,
from all the
cool.
way from 8 to like 2 to 3. So we can monitor, like if they say spirits manifest and drain
That's
the batteries of our paranormal equipment, we can now monitor like that level basically and see it
Wow.
going down. So if there's basic electromagnetic fields nearby, we'll be able to see it, and we can also see temperature, which is right there on that as well. So this is like actually the last Grayson Box 2.0 that he's developed, and he made this for us in June.
Very cool.
We took an old K2 meter and had it remodded and changed
Wow.
and from the ground up and had it completely rebuilt.
So that's basically like the most current equipment you could have.
Exactly.
How
Right.
cool
High-tech.
is that?
Absolutely.
You guys are up to date, man.
And we also have
Love it.
the really cool, this is like one of my favorite devices, because this is kind of the Swiss Army knife,
Okay.
basically paranormal investigative device. This is called the Mel Meter. And this
Okay.
is basically named after a guy named Gary Galka, who is a paranormal inventor based out of Connecticut. And
Oh, cool.
and his daughter Melissa Galker died in 2004. Toxicology reported no foul play. But this is a device that's commonly used on ghost adventures.
Sure, sophisticated equipment.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
What's
that's
so cool.
sophisticated stuff.
And what's so cool about this
Love it.
is this is actually like has a laser grid light. You can see that right there. It's got
yeah.
REM pod features, which is like a little motion
Yeah,
sensor
yeah.
like that. I can see it.
We
Like,
had some REM pods with Melissa and Rick the last time.
So I
they
get
bought
what you
some,
said
yeah.
about the Swiss Army knife. It has a
It's got
about
stuff.
5 or 6, 7, 8, 9 gadgets in one, that
I
kind
love
of thing, you know.
Exactly.
How cool is that,
And
man?
what's so cool about this device is
So that's like a multi-tool.
exactly. It's like basically like you said, your Swiss Army knife EMF
Yeah.
meter, but it does a milligauss electromagnetic fields
That's really cool.
right there, and it also does a temperature just like the Grayson box. But the difference
Wow.
is it has a REM pod feature at the top, so you can see when
Oh,
something
cool, man.
goes off. That's definitely total Ghostbusters, and of course it's got the laser grid lights too, which you can kind of see up there.
Yeah.
So basically,
How neat.
it's really basically your Swiss Army knife millimeter. And I also
If you don't
have
mind me asking, like, what do these kind of gadgets cost?
I was
Because
gonna
I
ask
know
that. Yeah.
everybody doesn't have a bankroll for their
200-300
projects, you know.
bucks?
oh
More?
easily some of these, especially some of these apparatuses, they can go on like for example. This one right here, which is the basic EMF meter, you can get the base version of this, like the
Yeah.
temperature
Yeah.
EMF without the REM pod lights at the top, without the temperature. You can get like a base model for about $90, but to add the actual upgrades, which we've got exclusive to Phantom Detectives, which
You're
is
going hundreds of dollars.
you're probably looking at like $200 to $300
There you go.
from this
So
device.
not only do you do this kind of stuff, you're well connected with people in the industry, so that's a plus for you guys, you know.
Right, man. We got
Knowing
something
all
else,
the,
huh?
I don't
Yes,
know,
we do.
what's called big shots in the industry, I
Yes.
guess you would say. So that's always a plus, yeah.
Absolutely. So this is really cool.
Check this thing out.
This is called the Ovulus 5.
Rock, dude, look at this, man.
And this is like a really cool Ghostbuster style. Like you can actually press the ABC here,
How neat, man.
and this will actually like pick up words and responses from the
Oh,
EMF fields.
EVP.
Like it's kind of like EVP, but what it does, it'll display the words right here.
Really? So it freaking translates.
Exactly. So it'll actually tell you what the spirits are saying.
Wow.
So like you can see like the words often. And what's so cool about this is actually during the last investigation we had at Poplar Hill Mansion, which is based out of Salisbury, Maryland. The word 40 came up on this, and Melissa was picking up on the word 40.
Yeah.
So when you can
Wow.
compare using this device with the basically the word 40, you got like there's several spirits coming on the ground. So that was one mode this thing had.
Oh, we got some spirits coming on now. I
Yep.
see that there's something
Yep.
saying stuff. So there's something here?
Exactly.
I told you I felt something. I
Yep.
knew it. I'm not crazy.
And there's also, this is really cool, this is the draw mode. If there's a spirit nearby, it'll use the EMF fields to actually draw the spirit and what it looks like using the draw mode tool.
That's really cool.
And also it has a couple other devices. It has a true and false mode. You could say, like for example, is there anybody here? And it'll actually have the green light for yes.
So what's it doing? You said, is there anybody here? Was it picking you?
Yep, it's starting to
It's
say
doing
yes.
something.
You
Look.
can see that it's already coming to the green light on saying yes. That there's somebody.
Okay, so we got a guest on that's an entity on the Rockin' House today.
I want to find out that there's something going on here. We'll save that for another day, or
Well, I'll tell
not
you-
at all.
Tell you what, Rock, dude, before we bring on our next guest, I want to ask you one more thing.
Yes.
We're going to bring on Rick and then, of course, Melissa.
Awesome.
What would you say was the newest investigation you guys did that was pretty cool? Like, you know, last time you guys did really cool stuff too, but what's new from
Well-
your point of view on what you guys are doing now?
Well, I think the last place that we just went to, we were doing world's largest ghost hunt.
Nice,
at
yeah.
Poplar Hill Mansion, which is the entire town was built around this home in the 1800s. It was built in
Right.
1794, constructed in 1805. And what's so cool
That's
about
so
this
cool, man.
is basically the Dr. John Houston, who was the creator of this house,
Mm-hmm.
actually was Salisbury, Maryland's first medical surgeon. And the early medical school of Maryland was actually founded at the basically at this location. And there we captured some of the most amazing thermal camera evidence ever.
Really?
Upstairs,
Wow.
there's actually a report of a slave named Sarah, who is a servant of the
Wow.
Dr. John Houston's daughters, burnt basically near the fireplace. So we were actually captured a thermal camera image,
How cool.
basically, and that was actually one of the pieces of evidence that we captured along with a couple of EVPs. So that was one of our newest investigations.
Wow.
And then on November 12th, we're going to a lightship, which is based out of Lewis, Delaware.
I saw the ad for
Yeah,
that. That's so
yeah.
cool.
Yes, and that's going to be our next investigation.
Very cool.
And we're going to be doing museum collections training at the basically the Lewis Historical Society, which actually will give us access to new places, including Cannonball House, the Burton Ingrid House, and
Wow.
so much more. So
You guys are busy.
we really
Getting
are.
busy, man.
Absolutely.
I love it, man.
The cases are coming in, and we're growing like crazy. We also have a Discord server now, so our clients can reach us when they need to talk to
Wow.
us. We have a virtual chat community. We also have, our TV show. We have a lot of things going on, and
Right.
it's only getting bigger.
Now, real quick, you got three partners in this situation, or three people. I give you a hand.
Yes.
Can you give us a brief description? what their expertise are?
Yes, absolutely. So we have, of course, Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer. He's a world-renowned medium, basically also a rural Oxford-educated attorney. He actually is our researcher. He kind of researches all the locations for us, gives us suggestions, and then what I do is I go ahead and, basically that's part of me. When I kind of also kind of help provide scheduling. But Melissa, she's also our psychic medium and our case manager. She handles all the scheduling of the investigations, talking to the clients, getting the numbers, and also she's assistant lead investigator, so she handles all that.
Wow.
And of course we have Mr. Rick Warner, who's the U.S. ambassador to the Italian UFO Federation, FUI.
Yeah.
He is the real deal. He actually brought his skills in from MUFON trained, very educated, a very talented guy. He is very much our tech manager and our lead investigator, and he handles the client interviews. So like when someone has say, hey, I have a haunting going on in my home or business, Rick does all the interviews, so he knows exactly what questions to ask the clients. So
I particularly think that's a great thing. The whole UFO thing, you got that available too. So
exactly.
So, you guys spread yourself out pretty good. You got 3 different people with 3 different expertise, and that's probably a lot more going on than some of the other people who do what you do.
Absolutely. You guys, first-class operation, for sure.
We really are, and what we do is I provide a lot of the historical knowledge. Like, I know all the history of these locations, and what's awesome is
so cool.
When Melissa is giving readings, and like, for example, the obulus, of which you guys just saw maps to EMF fields, I can check those all evidence basically in the readings that Melissa gets and check it against the history of the house and see if anything matches up. And almost every investigation when Melissa picks up on things, almost 99% of the stuff that she picks up on is identical, spot on with the history.
Wow.
And of course with Rick's technical knowledge of setting up the equipment, like he's really good at picking up the camera locations for us on the DVR system.
So Rock Dude, he's like the Rock Dude of the Phantom Detectives. He's got all the knowledge about all the stuff like you with the music.
What I'd say,
that's cool.
Opposed to the Ghostbusters movie, which was a comedy.
Right.
Yeah. You can play into that. That's what they did. But you offer more serious situation here. It could be from a historical standpoint.
Yes.
It could be because maybe these spirits are doing bad things, Exactly. You got to identify what's going on. It may not be just crickets or, birds in your attic, It could be something more serious. So you guys come in to identify this is what's going on,
exactly.
And then you can take it from there.
And that's what the evidence speaks for.
Very cool, man.
We check all the cameras. Like, usually it takes 2 to 3 weeks to do after an investigation, because there's a lot of different apparatuses that we have, from thermal cameras to SLS cameras to voice recorders to EMF meters.
You got to go through everything, right?
Exactly.
And examine it.
Exactly.
Analyze
And it really is very tedious and time consuming, but the reward is when you find that one definitive piece and say, this is like the holy grail of paranormal investigating. And
it's evidence.
But I'm sure at times you had to come almost clean and say, well, there's nothing here.
Oh, definitely. There's been
right.
times where, like, some of these locations I've been on past investigations at, like, Penhurst and
nice. Penhurst,
Betsy Ross house. Like, the Betsy Ross house was wild because when Rick made his debut there with our former lead investigator, they went down to the basement area and they captured some growls at the, and that defied explanation.
I remember hearing that.
Yep. So this was very terrifying, and all these EVPs are on our website, phantomdetectives.org.
Yes.
So you can see all the things that we do.
And we'll get that information for everybody again, once the show is
so you want
put out there for sure.
Thank you for stepping up to the plate today and coming with the guys today, or girl.
Thank you for coming to the Rockin' House, Joshua.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Brian. Thank you, Rock Dude. And I will see you guys next
and
time.
All your gadgets there. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We got our next guest coming up, Rick Warner. We'll be right back. We got our next guest coming up.
Rock Dude and Marky Z.
Yep. We got our next returning guest coming back. Rick Warner, welcome back to the Rockin' House, my brother. It's great to have you back on our Halloween show. Oh man, I like that.
Hey, how you
You're looking
doing?
good, my brother. looking scared.
Good to see ya.
Right.
Good to have you back, my brother.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
very much.
How you doing?
Welcome, Rick Warner, again, lead investigative on the team of the LLC. Phantom Detectives is here, as well as the ambassador to the UFO with the Italian
One of the three
Federation.
people. One of the
Yep,
three
John,
people on the team there, Mark. Yeah.
Important guy. Rick, we got some new things going on.
And he brings the,
Yeah.
the UFO thing to the
Absolutely.
picture too.
So let's talk about what's new with you, brother.
Well, so currently right now we have our video streaming on Amazon Fire TV,
Nice.
which is under the Second Team Entertainment Network.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so if people want to go to secondteamentertainment.com, they can go down and subscribe. It's like $5 a month. It's subscription TV, basically. And they have a lot of cool things on there.
Very
We
cool.
have our investigation videos that we host.
Yep. Absolutely.
But they also have other stuff. There's like music videos. They do a lot of comedy type stuff.
Very cool.
There's like some kind of spoof commercials they do, and they have regular commercials. And then there's also some cartoons and stuff. So
Cool.
there's kind of a really good mix of a little bit of everything.
Nice.
So yeah, so on Friday night, our show is from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Very cool. Very cool.
And 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday as well.
Mhm.
So, of course, if you're on another time zone, Pacific Coast Standard Time,
Yep.
then you're looking at 5 o'clock
Right.
starting time. So,
Right.
So good. It's fitting you wore the makeup today for the Halloween.
Yeah,
double
well,
this Halloween special. Yeah.
I wanted to have that Halloween look for you guys and give you my best horror look.
Okay.
It's looking good,
Yeah.
man. I like
You don't
it.
got your bloody hatchet to go with it? No. Okay.
No,
Okay,
so
no.
you know what? I want to tell you guys about where we went to recently,
Nice.
which was the Media Art Council.
Yeah, we were talking about.
We had a basically it was a public lecture. Okay, so
Yeah.
people would go to the website,
Very cool.
pay a certain fee, and then from there, people could come down and hear us in the lecture. So as it turned out, there was actually more people that paid for it
Mhm.
than actually showed up.
Mhm.
And I'm guessing maybe it was some kind of a parking issue because that particular day there was like no place to park. I ended up parking probably about a half a block down the street.
Yeah.
In front of Trader Joe's, there's like a parking area.
Media
meter
can be
parking.
tough.
Yeah, you got to put the
Yeah.
money in the meter and all that. So that's what I ended
It's
up
old
doing.
school, yeah.
And there's not many of them. There's like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool because that was our first public lecture.
That's very cool.
And we were just talking about how we go about conducting investigations.
Nice.
And then we ended up with giving a demonstration of how we use our different types of equipment.
I love
how
it. That's so
works.
cool.
So people can get a first and close hand look about that, see how it does that.
Nice.
And then the last part was just letting people, ask questions if they have any questions about what we do and how we do it. And yeah, so that was kind of great. It was fun. I enjoyed the experience. I would have wished there was more people there, but it was fun nevertheless. And then the other thing we did that was also in media was a thing called the Fright Fest, which
Nice. That
over
was in
there,
media too, huh?
yeah, that was in
Wow.
media too,
Okay.
and that was actually at a bigger venue.
Wow, cool.
They had a lot of
Cool.
vendor tables there, people selling stuff.
They do quite a lot of things in media. It's
Yeah,
well
and,
known
and
for
you know,
that.
this was like a
Yeah.
think of, if you will, kind of like a horror convention. Nothing as big as the magnitude of like a what do you call it, Comic-Con?
Yeah, El Comic
Right.
Yeah.
big time. Yeah,
That's like really big,
huge.
right?
Yeah,
So
huge.
this is people that were submitting their horror films. A lot of it
Oh,
was
cool.
it was mostly kind of a horror genre type thing. People would submit that.
That's neat.
So
yeah.
some are a little bit longer, some are a little shorter, and they have
Nice.
an area where you could sit out. With, they had like a small little auditorium thing set up,
Very cool.
Okay.
and they had a projector there projecting the different short films. So I stayed for a while
Nice.
and watched some of these little short, scary films that these people put together, which was great.
Very cool.
So that was a cool experience, and
Nice.
it was nice because we had a chance to meet the general public. We handed out some promotional cards telling people
Very cool.
about our streaming videos and where to go to find our channel, and
Very
our
cool.
segments.
And far as let the folks know about your experience with the UFO thing.
Yep.
That's big with
also-
you.
Yes.
Yeah, so I, before I got started as a paranormal investigator, I mean, I always enjoyed anything paranormal, okay?
Anything beyond.
Yeah, so anything with UFOs or any type of ghostly events. Always like to watch the paranormal shows. You got the skull there,
Creepy
right?
stuff.
Yeah. Is that what I'm going to look like when I get ready to die? So
We're all going to look like that.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, I went through training through an organization called MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and started out as a certified field investigator, investigating cases and that sort of thing. And later down the road, I decided to start my own organization as ERC, Extraterrestrial Research Center,
Nice.
which I'm the executive director of.
Yep.
And so that's kind of cool. There were some other people that were going to get involved at the time, and they kind of backed off at the last minute. But
Interesting, yeah.
I'm one of those people that, I'm a very driven person. So once I decide I'm going to do something,
You do it.
I just follow through with it and hammer down. I like to get things done.
Right.
Well,
And
here at
that's
the
exactly
Rockin'
what I
House,
did.
that's what we do.
Yeah. I'll be the top guy and
Yeah, man.
make this thing happen.
Absolutely. So cool.
So
man.
what's in your future? What would you say?
Well, the way things are moving, especially with, found detectives, we've had a lot of, between, media coverage and now the streaming videos, also being on several magazine covers.
Yeah.
Everything has moved so quick.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah,
by the way.
and
Great.
my prediction, and I predicted this a while back, is that, our team, we're all going to be famous. It's not a matter of if, but when. When are we going to be famous? Because
Good attitude,
I could I feel it in my bones. I know things are happening every week, every month,
Love it.
and it's just a matter of time before
It's exciting, man.
we get our own TV show.
It sounds like that parallels what we do here at the Rockin' House.
Yeah.
The
we
same
haven't got-
attitude.
We
Yeah.
haven't got the most exposure, but we have some of the most high-end rock and rollers. Nathan East from Clapton's band was one example. So
Yeah.
we're blessed with the talent. So that's a good way to go.
Yeah,
You guys have done like 250 shows, right?
150
Or more?
We're on,
plus.
yeah, we're on
150 plus.
season
That's right.
3.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
150
So-
plus videos.
Oh, 150. I don't know what singing is too good, but
No,
anyway,
over
150
100.
is still a lot.
Over 150.
Over 150.
So we've had a little bit of everything from heavy metal to Eric Clapton's bass player to stuff like that to country. So we
Yeah.
try to spread ourselves
Mix it
out
up.
as much as possible. That's
Yeah.
a good way to go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's really good. You guys have had a really good success with that and with the whole music and everything. I mean,
Yep.
it's
Just
a
keep
great
going.
thing, and you guys enjoy being hosts of your own show.
Oh, we
You know,
love this.
Rockin'
We love
House.
all you guys as supporters.
Well, you gotta understand, me
Follow us.
and Mark have a lot of passion. Like most people who do things on a serious level have passion. That's the name of the game. But for me, I'm a rock photographer, and Mark's a bass player
Yeah.
and songwriter and stuff like that. So, what we do is we can talk a real game about what goes on because we come from real music backgrounds. So that's helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, it sounds like things are moving in the right direction, and I know you're doing some producing for a guy. which is
Yeah,
really
actually,
good.
somebody was on our show that
mean-
Brian introduced us, and he's a great guy to work with. I'm flattered that I'm asked to produce his album.
So I appreciate you bringing
So,
that up because
yeah.
connecting the dots, and we connected the dots with you guys, and
Yep.
spreading yourself out, and when you do, things open up, and everybody has something to bring to the table.
Yeah,
We're all one big family, but if you want to say that,
You know
Yeah,
what?
man.
Well, I'm a very big believer in networking, especially
Huge.
in the entertainment
that's
business.
huge. Yeah.
In the entertainment business, that covers film and it covers music, does it not? So it's
That's a
all
lot right
encompassed
there.
everything. So,
Yeah.
in this business that we're in music, film, it could be a bit tricky at times. So it's good to have great connections. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree, brother.
That's a big plus, and we know you. So yeah, glad you could stop by the supposed studio here.
Yeah. Oh, I want to mention real quick
Yeah.
too. I forgot
Sure,
to say
bro.
this, but So we are going to be filming a documentary on paranormal investigations, about paranormal investigating.
Nice.
And this is going to take place in the middle of next year. Right now I'm working on pre-production. This is all going to be under Dark Raven Films, which is our
cool.
new. This is our new production company. We're all co-producers. in
So
this.
Dark
look for
Raven
that. Yeah,
Films.
look for that.
Yep. Dark
Yeah.
Raven Films, guys.
Dark Raven
It's coming,
Films.
coming, man.
Yeah, and
Exciting.
it's a very exciting thing. It's going to be our very first documentary, and
Awesome.
when it comes out, I hope that all you guys.
And the first
come
and
down
easiest
check
place
it
to
out.
find you guys, you can go right to your Facebook page.
Website.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Phantom Detectives is what you.
Yeah. Joshua has a Phantom Detectives Facebook page. I don't
Yep.
go on Facebook really, but I'm more on kind of a LinkedIn guy.
You
myself.
sound like me, old school. Okay, that's good.
But I love LinkedIn. I think because
I met Rick that way.
it seems
LinkedIn.
like you're getting a higher
Agreed.
level of
Or higher
of
caliber
people,
of,
I met
higher
some
caliber
major
of
More
people,
serious
yeah.
about things, right?
More serious,
You're absolutely
you're
right.
getting more business professionals.
Right.
I met very
Maybe a
substantial
producer.
people.
You know.
So that
Very high
that
level.
kind of weeds out a lot of things. It
Yeah.
does.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, well, and I told you about the producers network.
That's amazing.
Which is the amount of people on there is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's
It's
in
up
the-
to like
way
over
up in-
100,000 now, I think. Over
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's over. Yeah.
And when you
it's-
told me about it, it was like 7,000.
yeah,
So- and that was only a
that's a
couple
good
months
way
ago.
to connect too with people.
Oh,
You
my
put
So,
God,
your
yeah.
so
stuff
Mark,
up
you
there.
want to take us out today with our second guest today?
Absolutely. So, again, Rick, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me on board.
Makeup
Again,
looks
to
good,
the
man.
show, you look
I'm,
great.
I'm scared.
Yeah. So
We got our
anyway,
next guest coming up. Don't go nowhere.
happy
Melissa
Halloween, you guys.
is coming up. Farzano.
Ghosts, UFOs, and other paranormal entities. Whether you're a believer or not, it's a field of research that has grown exponentially over the last several decades.
Yeah, we can think everything from pop culture to the advent of new specialized technology for this increased interest in everything spooky and extraterrestrial.
And joining us to shed some light on all of this is Rick Warner. He is the lead investigator, tech manager, and director of client relations of Phantom Detectives. Rick, thank you so much for
afternoon.
being
Thank
here
you.
this
Thank you.
afternoon.
Thank you for having me on your show today.
So, for those who may not be familiar with this, give us a general overview of what paranormal investigation is.
Okay, so basically paranormal investigation it's when you go into like a home or a business, and usually you'll have someone who will say something like, well, they were asleep at night and maybe they felt the blankets move off of them, or they're hearing strange noises or electrical devices going on and off. And so sometimes you have cases where, people are just picking up different things during the day, at night. And what we do as a team, as paranormal investigators, we go in with an extensive array of paranormal investigation equipment. And we'll go into like different rooms, we'll take different kinds of readings and see what kind of evidence that we could capture.
So, how did you get into this field? That's my question.
Well, it's interesting you say that. So actually, a guy on LinkedIn, where I have, he actually found me. And so I come in as an experienced certified UFO field investigator that I did all my training through. So I've always been interested in any kind of investigating or interviewing potential clients and things like that. And he asked me if I wanted to join his team and be a part of it. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try and see how I liked it. And the first place we went to was in Philadelphia, which was the Betsy Ross House. And it was just truly amazing, the kind of activity that was being picked up. We had different devices that were going off. And we actually did an EVP session in the basement And when I went and did playback, I could hear growling. You could hear a growling noise in the background. It's really pretty scary.
What do you say EVP?
EVP.
EVP.
EVP, yes. That's electro voice phenomena.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you brought some equipment here. Is
Yes,
that
I
what
did.
you use to pick up the EVP?
Well, this is just a small amount of, we have a ton more equipment than this, but this is just a few pieces of equipment I brought to show you guys today.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
let's start off with what is? Am I allowed to pick this
Oh,
up?
yeah, you can pick it up, definitely.
Yeah. What does this do?
Okay, so what these are, like, you guys probably heard of dowsing rods that they will use for finding water and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have professional people that go out and look for water using dowsing rods. Usually they're made out of some type of copper material. And what these are called electric dowsing rods. And if you turn the button on, you can, I don't know if the lighting will
can
pick
see
it up.
it,
We can see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
But they will change colors. In the dark, you could see these a lot more. So basically what will happen is, you'll decide what colors you want to set it at. And then if you say, okay, like right now I have like purple, okay. And the idea is you hold these at 90 degrees, so they're steady, okay. And normally you would be kind of standing up
Standing,
here. So let me see if I can kind of get these to steady. Okay, so you would ask a yes or no question, okay. Hold these like this. Once you get them steady, say right now they're kind of
So could we ask something like,
moving around a
is
little bit.
Historic Studio D haunted?
If there's a spirit in this room that's present, please cross the rods forward. If there's any spirit activity in here, please cross the rods forward.
What?
There you go.
Oh, I knew it!
Can you please reset the rods forward, please?
Get out.
There you go. Now you notice I didn't touch anything.
No.
No, he didn't.
I didn't touch anything. Okay. So and these are very sensitive because they're on like in a ball bearing system. So they'll kind of move around a little bit. It's usually easier if you're standing up
Right.
doing this
Sure.
kind of thing.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's just one of the things there.
That's amazing. So do you have any interesting ghost hunts coming up?
Yes, actually we do. It's interesting you mentioned that. So we have the it's called the Poplar Mansion, okay,
yeah.
which is, I guess pretty close by here. I haven't been there yet. So, we understand that, there's a history of some paranormal activity that's been there. So we're actually going to be there on Saturday, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We're
Absolutely.
looking forward to picking up a lot of activity there.
Yeah. And we're looking forward to hearing about what happens with
Yeah,
that.
definitely. I'm very excited about
Oh
that.
my goodness. It's a stellar day here on Delmarva Live.
Oh,
Rick
yeah.
Warner, thank you so
Thank you, Rick.
much.
That was
He's
awesome.
with
Well, hey,
Phantom
thank you both for
Detectives.
having me on board today. It's been a real
Yeah.
pleasure.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're back for our third guest here
Yes,
of
we
the
are.
three. They work
Yes,
as
we
a
are.
team.
Returning-
Phantom Detectives out of Delaware.
We want to thank again our returning guest, Melissa Farizano. Welcome again to
Thank
the
you so
Rockin'
much.
House.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me again. So good to see
Down,
you.
relax.
Yes.
Thank you very
Great
much
to
for
see
coming.
you again.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having
I
me.
just had to bring my pet skull along with me
Yes.
here today.
Oh, he's super cool. I love him.
Okay.
So cool, man. Well,
You can hang with
welcome
me.
back.
Thank you.
And Melissa is back to tell us about some interesting, cool developments also
Yes.
going on new and
And your
exciting.
expertise, you're a psychic.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let's
Psychic,
start
psychic medium. Yeah.
with what you do with Phantom Detectives LLC. We had you on before, but this is more new developments.
Yes.
And we want to talk about the exciting new stuff.
Yeah.
So let's go with that.
Awesome. So what I do with Phantom Detectives is during our investigations, I like to go into each location blindly where I know nothing about the history of these locations. So, because that way, whatever I tune into, we like to see if it can be verified later. And I know Joshua was just on recently, and he is our team historian. I mean, he knows every single thing about these locations. So it's interesting to see if what I'm tuning into is accurate. And also, sometimes our equipment will pick up on certain things that I'm tuning into as well.
And I believe your job is booking the jobs. Is what you do?
I do.
You
So
or solicit the jobs. Yeah.
yeah. So.
And that's for the Rocking House. That's what Mark does. He's
that's
a
cool.
good booking agent and likes to talk to people. So
Yes.
he's made a career out of doing that in the real world. So it just goes hand in hand with the Rocking House. So
And it works successfully.
you need
That's
someone who has the
awesome.
ability to talk to people. Right.
Yeah. Yep. So if somebody reaches out to us, first and foremost, it comes to me, and I get their information, maybe get a little bit of a backstory to see exactly what is going on, and just to make sure that everything seems legit, because you really don't know who is going to reach out to you.
do the same thing.
Yes.
I'm right on the same boat with you.
As long as it's not Jeffrey
Yeah.
Dahmer, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, he's dead, man. Somebody killed him in prison really bad. Literally
So-
bashed his head in,
Yeah.
if you know the story.
Oh.
But
yeah, so from there, what I do is I get the person's information, get a little backstory about what they are experiencing. So what's nice about our team is that we're very methodical. And from there, what I do is I pass that information on to the team and ask the person who reaches out if Rick can contact them and do an interview. And
Cool.
yes, because then he records the interview, we get to hear all about their experiences.
I like that.
Yeah, and then it comes back to me and I coordinate the scheduling.
That's great.
So yeah. it's-
We do the same thing.
So you got to
Pretty
do a little
much.
bit of legwork or background work
Uh,
to see what the game plan is going to be. So when you get to the location, you know what you're doing, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the same thing with the Rocking House. Yeah.
It absolutely is the same format.
Yeah.
Very much the same.
Yes. So now, that being said, that there is now I have obviously knowledge of the contact when they start telling me about their experiences. So
Right.
that's something a little different than when we actually go and pursue a location. So when I don't know the backstory of locations, that is when we will specifically reach out to somebody. If we want to go and explore a mansion, museum,
Yeah.
a historic location, that's where I only know the name and I don't want anything else.
Right.
Because if I know a backstory, then obviously
It
isn't
makes you
going
look
to be,
like you're not doing it.
yes,
Being
authentically.
authentically and the evidence that you provide people.
Yes.
Wait a minute, you already knew the background of that place, so
Exactly.
I don't know if I believe what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's great. So you're the real deal, first class operation of actually investigating paranormal.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
then you can't get better than that.
Yes.
Now,
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
when you make the first phone contact, do you get any sense from a psychic's perspective that way, or it's very little or none, or how's that work?
Yes, I can kind of get a feel for certain things if the location has a peaceful vibe or if it has just a nasty vibe. So I kind of have an idea of what it is that we are walking into. Now, and that's if somebody reaches out to me. Sometimes, though, if we go to pursue an investigation, if we contact a museum or mansion, certain things will start coming to me. Maybe what the person looked like who resided there at one point.
Cool.
I mean, we have some very interesting stories about that, things that I've tuned into about these locations at these particular mansions, especially in museums. I mean, just things that come to me, and Joshua would say, "No, you're right on the money." Yeah, so it's.
So when you get attuned to these things, you're talking about a vibration, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because everything we know that exists as we know is vibration.
Yep, and energy.
Energy. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Now, would that be helpful? Because, if you're going into an entity that's nasty or
Still
cool,
vibration?
you would like to pick that kind of thing up
But
because
low vibration.
Yes,
that-
low
could-
vibration. Yes.
because
what you're saying.
could that actually get you guys in trouble? Because if you're working with somebody like an entity that's nasty, you want to know that ahead of time.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because we need to know how to protect ourselves going forward.
Yeah, because you could die from them.
Would you
Yeah.
say you won't want to
Don't know what you're
annoy
doing.
the entity too much, or you want to just go with them? Like, I know what you're all about, so we're going to just. Because, if you get into it to a situation where you don't know, then you don't know.
Exactly.
I guess for lack of better words.
Yes, yes. So in a situation like that, it's nice to know what it is you're
You're
walking
getting into.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
right, I get it.
Because you could piss the person or
the
the
entity
spirits off. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely, definitely. And there's been times
okay.
where we paid the price. We have left investigations feeling drained for weeks, and all of us.
Oh my God.
And a lot of it is because
Well,
we
if it's
did not.
demonic involved, that can drain your spirit and your soul and everything else. It's
Yes.
fact. They've proven this.
That's right. That's right. So you really
You
have to
know,
be
so
careful.
it's scary stuff, man. It's real, people. It's real. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just Hollywood. It's real stuff. You know,
Yes.
where do you think they get these ideas from? From reality.
Yes, that's right.
And
That's right. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's real. So, and
So-
these guys are the experts on
So
this
that's where
subject.
an organization like this could be highly apparent or useful because when you don't know and you want to find out some things, it's the perfect place to go to get this information on the table.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Definitely. Yes.
You can't live your life being spooked. I don't know, for lack of better words, or being uncomfortable in your environment. You want to take care of that so you can live a steady life.
Exactly. It's true. It's true. So, I mean, I feel like preparation is important. You need to know about protecting yourself going in. It's nice to have an idea of what you're walking into, and where we have been drained before is when we did not protect ourselves or cleanse ourselves coming out of there. I mean, you really have to be mindful about that sort of thing
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with
absolutely.
you. Totally.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year, it's a very, 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 should I say,
It's very active. Yeah.
active
Yeah.
entity time of year.
Yes.
So people that don't
Yes.
know much as you're the expert, there's some situations that could absolutely be friendly and some could absolutely be
Menacing and
Yes.
like why did I even show up here?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I feel though, now maybe I am entirely too brave. I feel that sometimes people treat me like, oh, you're crazy. I can't believe that you will walk into these places because I would never. However, it like attracts like, and I don't believe in going into these places fearful. Now we have to be smart.
Well, they'll know.
Yes, and they will feed off of that.
They will totally. I was going to say, Brian, see, I know a little bit about this stuff. That's why this is so cool, and I love this.
Now what is this thing
You
they
know,
call an
it's real
orb?
stuff.
It's an orb. It's like a light or something that you see. Sometimes it shows up in photographs. I know it has with me.
Yes, yes.
Is that the spirit, or what exactly is that?
I do believe that they are spirits. However, I also know that orbs are very controversial, if you will, because
Yeah.
it's a matter of determining if it is an actual orb and not a speck of dust or a reflection. But a lot of times people go by, when they look at an orb, to determine if it's an orb, how it moves. I mean, it can move in a very intelligent way.
Yeah,
and
I've seen pictures and videos of that.
yes, where you think, okay, this cannot possibly be a bug or a speck of dust because
Well, moving.
yes,
Right.
exactly. But I do
Agreed.
feel it is energy trying to show itself in whatever way that it can.
And for
yeah.
photographs in particular, for me, it's just stuff that you know is not supposed to be there.
Yes.
Like, this is not right. And I've gone, and that happened in my photos where it does happen.
Yes.
It has happened in the past, and it does happen there. So
Yep.
you might
Yep.
pick up a few in your photographs, maybe not. And a couple times it did with me. I'm like, this ain't supposed to be in there.
Yes, yes.
That's usually when it happens, it seems.
And that's at the
Yes.
Valley, and that location for me was Valley Forge, the church in Valley Forge Park.
Okay.
There you go.
And that's highly spiritual place,
Oh, hell
It's a
yeah.
graveyard in the back, and George Washington's guys were in and out there, and all that good stuff. So,
It's very haunted.
Yes.
so there's a lot of spiritual activity there.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
dude.
So it only makes sense that you could
You
pick
pick it
something
up.
up. Yes, in your
And I was
yes,
telling
absolutely.
the team about right down the street, which people take for granted or may not know, is Christ Swedish Church, which is
Okay.
established in 1765, and George Washington passed through there to go to Valley Forge, and it's historical, and it's a very old graveyard, one of the oldest graveyards in America.
Wow.
Founded by the Swedes originally, who settled this area. So, Christ Swedish Church, and it had that spooky look to it.
Yes. Yes, so I believe yes that energy could very well be hanging around these old locations.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's new? What's new happening? I know there's a lot of new exciting things. I mean, you guys got on more covers of
You're
magazines.
busy, I know that.
Yes.
You know, Rick told us you had some I guess you would be with conferences or basically like where you did like a showing, a live presentation
Yes.
in front of like a bigger establishment, like a media couple. Fright Fest
Yes.
was one of them. And I know media very well. I worked in media for years. And they always have cool events. They've been known for that. And it's
Yes.
also an historic little town.
Yes.
There's a lot of old buildings in media. So I'm sure you guys could probably investigate in media and probably find some things that might be an energy involvement.
It does
For
have
sure.
like that
Yes.
colonial look at times,
Oh, it
you know,
does,
just like
definitely.
Westchester has that colonial look,
yes.
and then, you know, media
Haddonfield,
media
New
is
Jersey.
the hub of Montgomery County, so
Yep.
it is one of the oldest areas in the county.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. What's interesting is when we were doing the presentation in media recently, so we all talked a bit about what we do, and we actually demonstrated our equipment.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yes.
Like you
and-
guys did on our first show, you were here with us.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel that a spirit was trying to communicate. Basically, we do now on TV. They call it the Estes method. When you watch these paranormal shows, where it's all about sensory deprivation. So I'm always the one who. I'm always the guinea pig. I will have a blindfold on so I cannot see anybody's mouth moving. I will have earbuds on to cancel out noise. And what happens is the guys are asking questions to see if there are any spirits present. Now, if it's authentic, you're not going to give answers right away because chances are that person can hear you. It kind of, the information comes in drips and drabs.
Gotcha.
But so I started just answering some things about a woman being present in that particular building where we were doing that presentation. And I also see what I'm picking up psychically as well. So I feel that there was a spirit present during our presentation, and Rick's dowsing rods were also crossing when we were demonstrating those.
He was saying that
Yes.
just earlier when we had him on the show just
Yeah.
a few minutes ago.
Yes.
He's saying that was really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting how we all work together
Yes.
and how it verifies what I'm picking up on, the equipment, the backstory from the location. It's like putting together pieces of a puzzle.
That
So,
you gain evidence because you guys do it authentically.
yes.
Authentically, how you do it is like you don't want to know much about it.
Right.
You go in blindly, like you say.
Yes.
So then people can't sit and point a finger and say, "Yeah, you guys are a bunch of BS."
Yeah.
No, I don't know nothing about this.
Yes.
I picked it up. If it matches what I picked up, then it's authentic,
That's right.
and you need to believe it's real.
And, you
That's
know, it's
right.
like anything. You want to document the reality of what's really going on, so
Yeah.
you can say, well, here it is.
Right.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors in
Yeah.
just typically anything you do.
Drive
Yes.
dishonesty.
So you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, if a client reaches out and they're telling me about their experiences, then that isn't me going in blindly.
Right.
The benefit of that is that we know what we are dealing with. And truth of the matter is, we've got something coming up in November that is going to be our most challenging case because
Really?
I believe this person is having demonic activity in their home.
Oh, there you go, Brian. You're going to go research something that's having demonic activity.
You're bringing that whole Exorcist thing up. Oh my Lord! I grew up watching that movie. and holy smokes,
Well, that's a true story, dude.
they were the
Yes.
two big ones. That and The Omen. Oh yeah.
Oh,
pretty
The Exorcist
scary.
I was
based
scared because
on truth.
I was
Yes.
little.
But you know, it was a little boy, right? It wasn't a little girl. The Exorcist, it was Blair, but the real story was a boy, 12-year-old boy.
Some of the backstories on that Exorcist movie was pretty bizarre too,
Yes.
man. Like crazy.
Because it's based
Just
on
wasn't a
real.
movie.
Definitely. So us going into this location again,
Scary.
this is going to be our most challenging case,
Cool.
and we're planning ahead of time on how we are going to approach it. So I need information.
Protection
to know.
number
Yes,
one.
Yes.
You guys want to do the saging? I'm
You need,
sure.
you need to borrow this?
Yes. We might run.
Look, Jack is trying to reach out to you, my
Yo,
brother.
man.
The spirits are here.
I'll do this. I'll make him happy.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get in on the action here.
Yeah.
'cause
Yo,
he sees
man,
Melissa.
I got this. This is. I made sure this was good for werewolves and vampires and you.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Jack's pretty cool. Jack and Sally are my favorites.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what, in closing our show, and again, thank you for coming as a return
Yes,
guest for this
absolutely.
awesome Halloween show, which has been awesome so far. What
And-
is the future looking like of what you guys are going to be doing next, besides, just the investigation? I know you guys got some big things happening, like with that worldwide investigation thing. We talked about it happening, but now it's actually happening.
Yes, definitely.
That's got to be exciting.
Yes, I think next year there's going to be many new doors opening. We're going to be traveling. There's going to be a lot of traveling. I mean,
Very cool.
yes, it isn't uncommon for us to travel about an hour away, but it seems like people from, pretty
Yeah.
far distances are reaching out. A lot of historic locations, maybe even group investigations, because many
Nice.
people always ask, hey, I would love to come along and experience this.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the Rockin' House should probably go do it.
Yes, we would love to have you all. See what everyone's doing.
What do you guys think? Would that be cool to have the
Yeah.
Rockin' House live with these guys on investigation and some paranormal happens right then and there?
That would be super cool.
That would be amazing.
Give us something to talk about going forward.
Because none of us, we going blindly, we don't know. It
If
just
the
happens.
spirits give you trouble, we'll crank the amps up to 12
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll get rid of them.
11!
Whatever it takes, we'll drown them out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what,
definitely.
I want to thank you again for coming to the show.
Definitely.
It was a blast having you guys back again, and we'll have you again, I'm sure.
Great.
So,
We would
Marky
love-
Z with Rock Dude.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you,
you three.
thank you.
This
Connected
time
with
all
the
three that
organization.
you came today,
It's great, man.
and
Yeah.
All right, well,
Good stuff.
I'd
Good
like
stuff.
to say, I'm Marky Z,
all right.
and there's Rock
Yes.
Dude,
Yes. Until next time.
and we are
Is established paranormal
Yep.
investigation teams on their YouTube channel, Phantom Detectives LLC, and follow them on social media. Phantom Detectives LLC is a professional paranormal investigation team from Oxford, Pennsylvania. They conduct investigations from historical societies to homes, businesses, asylums, and more. The team provides free home investigations to more robust investigations with the public. Each member is well trained on history, educated on all 8 areas of the paranormal, and will bring an excellent attention to detail to every investigation. PD LLC will be conducting free information forums at libraries all over Pennsylvania. During these sessions, they will go over evidence from past investigations, how they conduct investigations, and answer questions from the public. The team will be making numerous trips across the United States to conduct investigations in America's most haunted locations. Dream locations include Waverly Hills Sanitarium, the Winchester House in San Jose, Myrtle's Plantation, and more. Dr. Hans Holzer is one of their biggest inspirations. PDLLC is a non-profit organization offering unique services to the public. Their goal is to demystify the supernatural and reduce fear of the unexplained. Every evidence review will be kept confidential and will not be released without